Hello, my name is Belle Steinhauer.
And I'm Randall Green. The following presentation provides an overview and context for HIVE Geospatial's software and services offering.
As environmental, social, and economic issues become progressively more pervasive and intertwined in the modern world, markets, consumers, governments, and society at large have begun to focus on sustainable development, energy transition and electrification, conserving biodiversity, and preserving cultural heritage. These efforts are being undertaken under the public eye, and thus transparent and inclusive decision-making processes are required to reach holistic solutions that meet the needs of these broad concerns. To meet such demands, spatial planning arose as a collaborative and transparent approach to managing land and ocean spaces, while balancing the demand for human and organizational activities with need for protecting ecosystems. Spatial planning considers all activities and all partners in a geographic area to support decision-making about how to use land and marine spaces and resources. Spatial planning and processes are used to manage land and oceans worldwide and is recognized for being collaborative and transparent without sacrificing effectiveness. However, existing planning processes and software tend to be narrow, reactive, highly technical, and slow. This results in stakeholder dissatisfaction, project delays, and poor decisions that often require a costly reevaluation and reassessment.
An example of poor planning occurred on the east coast of Canada approximately The conflict arose when the cottage owners, shown in yellow, became outraged as forestry operations outlined in green became visible from their cottages, negatively impacting their view. They demanded an immediate halt to the harvesting operations and modifications to the previously approved plan. The ineffective planning had negative impacts for both parties. The cottage owners were upset that their wilderness view had been compromised, and the forestry operations incurred supply chain disruption and cost increases. HIVE Geospatial incorporated in late 2022 as a remedy to the shortcomings of existing spatial planning tools and processes. HIVE is an acronym for the Holistic Interactive Visualization Environment. We offer decision support software and related services for multi-stakeholder land use and marine use planning and management. HIVE's features are focused on the upfront understanding of the problem or decision in the top blue box, supported by non-spatial record management and visualization. We also focus on the assessment being conducted or the intervention being planned in the bottom blue box, supported by spatial visualizations with graphical summaries. The latter relies on data sets and models in the middle blue box and at the bottom, which may be internal, acquired, or developed.
Our support for the problem understanding or structuring step at the top is via managing, relating, and visualizing non-spatial data shown in the bottom right. For the non-spatial data that supports understanding the problem, HIVE organizes data into 6 record types: stakeholders, values, or the things they care about, existing and needed datasets and models, law or regulations, and potential changes being considered or imposed. HIVE allows you to edit records and relate them to each other using drag and drop. As we build experience in other industries, geographic regions, and management problems outside of Canadian forestry, we will be able to jumpstart populating this information by providing industry or management-specific data templates. The relationships among values, models, datasets, stakeholders, regulations, and potential changes can be visualized in several ways to help understand overlaps in interest and impacted resources. Filtering allows users to apply either a social, ecological, or economic lens, or focus on specific stakeholder types. Our visualizations make consistent use of color schemes and support interactivity such as highlighting and selecting specific records of interest and their relationships. HIVE's spatial visualizations to support assessments and management interventions rely on existing or new datasets and models. There are many sources of these, including open, in-house, and even non-digital. HIVE can directly support their acquisition, digitizing, development, and curation if needed. Model outputs from third-party platforms can easily be uploaded and visualized by HIVE.
Our spatial layers and scenarios can be quickly configured from available datasets and model outputs. We are currently completing our first spatial visualization type and have 2 more in design and development. Spatial comparison allows 2 alternative options or futures to be viewed side by side. In this case, we see future model predictions for trembling aspen biomass at 2 different points in time under climate change scenario RCP 4.5. Lighter colors indicate higher predicted biomass. The bar graph compares the left and right layers across categories. For instance, the first section of the bar chart tells us that areas of the very lowest biomass, the darkest colors, decrease as we go from time 60 on the left to time 100 on the right, whereas the middle sections of the bar chart indicate areas of moderate biomass increase. The swipe tool in the middle of the map is used to reveal more or less of the left map, time 60, or right map, time 100. Spatial time series will allow a model or projection with more than 2 time points to be played or animated. In this forestry example, we are showing total biomass of trees at time 0. By using the play button or the slider tool, the user can view total tree biomass estimated at future points in time, such as in 20 or 40 years. Spatial suitability or hotspot analysis will allow the user to select multiple input criteria, assign them relative weights, and generate a spatial estimate of suitability or importance, as in this example of hotspots of potential industry conflict with marine protected areas. Darker colors indicate more potential conflict. It was produced by selecting and performing a weighted sum of 5 input layers. Here they are given equal weights, but the user could optionally give some criteria more importance than others. It is our intention to summarize model and scenario results by their underlying value types and resources, so that impacts can be considered across multiple dimensions simultaneously. For instance, the baseline scenario A0 clearly has higher economic value, whereas in scenario A2 there is a higher ecological value, and scenario A3 achieves the best balance.
In 2022, we started building HIVE with our initial clients in the Canadian forestry sector. To date, we have developed initial versions of the non-spatial features and spatial comparison features. At the end of the first quarter, we successfully completed a seed stage incubator program at the Genesis Center in St. John's, Newfoundland, and we were recognized as one of the top pitches in our cohort. We are currently focusing on design and prototyping of new features with potential early adopter customers and partners. Our extended team has decades of combined relevant experience. However, most of us work part-time on HIVE. As HIVE develops partnerships and acquires new users, our team will continue to grow. We are currently looking to fill full-time product management and senior software development roles. What are we looking for? First, we'd like to get to know a multitude of stakeholders and potential users, learning their needs and current pain points so that we can best meet demand. Second, HIVE is actively pursuing partnerships with any organization involved in land use or marine use spatial planning. Third, if you are or know of an experienced software developer or product manager who is seeking full-time employment, we'd like to hear from you. Our team is looking to grow. And lastly, as HIVE moves out of seed stage development, we are searching for funding opportunities. To connect with HIVE, please contact Belle, our business development lead, at the following address. The QR code will direct you to our website.